I've spent years building my own LEGO city, and like many other LEGO city builders, I've always dreamed of having a real working LEGO train in my city. And fun fact, I actually used to back in the day. However, in recent years, as I've had to modify the size of my city to fit the size of my room, as well as to include more buildings, I've unfortunately had to scrap the dream of keeping that train in my LEGO city because it took up way too much space. Until now. I am really excited to say that I have finally built a real working LEGO subway train here in my LEGO city. So for context, my LEGO city actually has two different sections. The first being the main LEGO city table where a majority of my buildings live, and then the second section being a smaller table that actually hosts the beach area and a few other buildings as well. These two sections are on completely different table heights, so I could accomplish a raised look and have a more realistic feel of my city. Last year I actually decided that I wanted to tear down my entire LEGO city and start rebuilding some of the major sections basically from scratch, and this actually included the idea of adding a LEGO subway system to the city. I built the very first section of the subway system on the right side of my LEGO city, which honestly was a ton of trial and error. This has been really hard to accomplish because the train tracks and the train station are actually not sitting on a base or any table or wood or anything like that. They're actually completely free hanging in the city, attached only by the LEGO road plates because they technically wrap around the table, like they go underneath. It's kind of weird, you have to see it. The goal for the subway system was to have the train run from left to right in the LEGO city, have two unique subway stations, and then the train actually disappears under the city. It's actually under the beach area, and that's why the beach is a bit smaller than it used to be, and why the sidewalk up top is actually so wide, because I had to accommodate the train going underneath. As I mentioned, building the first subway station was actually a ton of trial and error because I wanted to build a station that could actually withstand the weight of the train and also be flush with the train track coming off the table, but also it had to be back enough that there could actually be minifigures behind it and storytelling within the build. After spending many hours of building the station, I was pretty happy with the results, and it was time to do it again, but from the left side. So this time it was actually a lot easier to get started. I actually already had the straight link of track already built and ready to go, and I just had to strengthen it with some 2x4 dark bluish gray plates. I then attached a bunch of these plates that were about 8 studs long, the whole length of the straight track, and then also reinforced them from the bottom as well. I then attached the straight track link to the main link of the LEGO city table, and then just used a bunch of 2x4 white bricks to stabilize the station. You can see here just how reliant I was on these LEGO road plates to hold everything up. In my first subway station, I used the dark red 1x2 masonry bricks, but because I wanted to switch it up for the second station, I went with the 1x2 masonry bricks in the Nugent instead. These 1x6x6 panels also came extremely handy for the back wall, and I ultimately ended up deciding to go with 2 layers of masonry bricks, a layer of plates in the middle just for kind of decoration and to break it up a little, and then the 1x6x6 panels. Once the back wall was finished and installed, I then started building the proper support walls using a few different colors. As you guys can see, I do actually need to build the bottom of these support sections a little differently because the train is just a little too wide for the studs to be that close to it, but 2 studs for the rest of the support is perfectly fine as well as needed. I then added the grill plates at the front just to give it a more detailed look and just try and fill in some of the space from where it should be 2 studs, but it's only 1. At first I wasn't going to actually do these inverted slopes for the archways of the station, however, after looking at it and looking at the other one, I thought it was just a little bit too plain without them. Of course, like I mentioned, both the subway stations took a ton of trial and error and some slight modifications, but I finally got both subway stations installed and they were actually strong enough to hold the entire train. Surprisingly, I know. The best part is the train is actually motorized, so it will drive into the subway station, pick up the passengers, and then head out on its way. Now let's go take a final look at the stations in the LEGO city to see just how much the minifigures are enjoying them. So I'll show you this subway station because it's actually the one I built first. As you guys can see, this one has 2 staircases, one on each side. We've got a bunch of LEGO minifigures just kind of walking around. So we've got a female minifigure walking up the stairs here, ready to leave through the exit that's on the above ground of the LEGO city. We've got a kid there playing some music. We've got like a farmer next to a vending machine. He's selling some like bread and carrots. Like, I don't know why, but I figure it's a subway station, so a lot of random things should be happening. And if not, it's not a real subway station. We've got a minifigure there. She's just waiting for her train. We've got like a newsstand here with a gentleman browsing some of the news sections, and then somebody else standing waiting for their train, drinking some coffee. Of course, we've got the other staircase over here, and then just a welder trying to finish up some last minute touches. You guys can see there is construction going on above the train station as well, and there's even another subway entrance here. This side, fun fact, has 2 subway entrances, while this side only has 1, and it's actually hidden. It's kind of in this building, you just can't really tell, but there's the one staircase right down here, and this one has a lot more LEGO minifigures in it as well. So starting from over on this side, we've got the gentleman who is painting the walls, just trying to make it look nice and fresh. We've got a hot dog vendor here selling some hot dogs, a mom and her kid kind of just waiting for the train there. Of course, it is a subway station, so the tiles are looking a little dirty, and there are just some random pieces of garbage everywhere. We've got another another farmer over here who's just kind of playing a musical instrument with a coffee cup trying to collect some extra funds, a gentleman here reading the paper, and then a train conductor ready to go on for his shift. And then of course we have another gentleman who is preparing to leave the station through the imaginary staircase. Although this build wasn't always easy and it didn't always hold up during the testing phases, I of course am very proud with how it turned out, given that I am not an engineer. My motto was that it didn't need to be absolutely perfect, but I wanted it to be perfect enough to withstand the average use it will see, such as the staging, videos, and of course the occasional playtime, which it absolutely does stand up. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video of me talking all about how I installed a LEGO subway train here in my LEGO city. This is something really cool and really unique for me, something I had never attempted to do before, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Of course, sometimes it was challenging to build a model like this that is completely free hanging and not attached or held up by anything other than LEGO bricks and some base plates, but I'm really excited that I managed to do it, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe, and of course I will see you all here in the next video.